Hi, this is Richie here, and finally I'm back after the Pike. So it's been a long time coming. It's now into September. Today is actually the 7th of September. So today it's supposed to be overcast and dull, but instead it's actually quite bright. It's not that warm to be honest, but it is quite bright, which is not what I was hoping for when I'm lure fishing for Pike. Today I'm going to be using just my homemade jig flies and my homemade spinners for the perch, but this video is mostly for the Pike, so I'm going to be sticking to the homemade jig flies. Now, as for this location, it's quite a popular location. Most people's going to recognise it if you go pike fishing. I'm not into naming locations and stuff like that, so I'm not going to say where it is. If you recognise it, then that's good, keep it to yourself, but don't ask, because I'm not going to say where it is. But as to regards to this location, I'll be honest with you, I'm coming here kind of expecting to blank, and the reason for that being is I came here numerous times over the years and I've not caught yet. That's the honest truth. Now, I've been here with the underwater camera and I've seen plenty of pike following my lures and stuff like that, and I done a video about 2 years ago showing you my old footage, which was actually from here. Now, instead of trying to explain all that again, what I'm going to do is just now is show you a clip from that video. So the first thing you're going to see is the Savage Gear through line pike. I just want to try to explain what happened in that scene. Now, when I cast the lure out with the waterwolf camera, one of the hooks at the back came out and went into the side of the lure. Now I'm going to explain. So hopefully you can see this in the camera. So you get your through line. So when the pike takes the lure, these trebles come out and then it's just through line. What happens is you've got this hook that stays in the pike, that holds in a wee hold this there, and it comes out when the pike takes it. But you've got this one here at the bottom that just floats about. So what had happened is, when I've cast the lure out, the hook is went into the side of the lure like that. So it wasn't the case that I put the hook in, it just went into the side of the lure when I cast it out. So when you see it in the first video, you're going to see it looking something like that, which was just an accident. So because that bit was loose, it just went into the side, and you'll see that in the camera, and that's the way it looks. So hopefully you can pick it up on the camera. So the second scene you're going to see is the very first time I actually used the waterwolf camera, where I was dead baiting in the middle of winter for pike. The water column is quite dark, so you can't really see the pike too clearly. It was the very first time using it, so my judgment on how close the waterwolf camera should have been to the wire trace was a wee bit more closer than it should have been. Also, when you're using the underwater camera, it zooms in a wee bit, so it makes it look actually closer than it actually was. So in this second scene, you'll see me dead baiting for the pike, bring the pike in. As soon as the pike gets into more shallower water, it shakes its head and it gets off because I was using babbler hooks. So that scene was the very first time I used the waterwolf camera, and it's going to look a wee bit too close to the pike. But like I said, it was the very first time using it. It was through line method as well, and it was trial and error. The third scene you're going to see is the through line trout, and this, I think it was called a fire tiger pattern, and like the other lure, it's through line. This hook comes out very easy as seen. So as I've cast this lure out with the waterwolf camera, the hooks went into the side of the lure a wee slight bit, just because how slack it is, and also what had happened was the wire trace had wrapped around the camera a wee bit, and that's how the lure's dead close to the camera. But as you'll see, it releases itself, and it was fine. So with both of these lures, I've caught pike on both of them. I've not altered them in any way, shape or form. The hook system, the through line system is exactly the way they come in a packet. So I've not changed anything with the lures. They are really good lures. There's plenty of bite marks on this one because I've had a few wee jacks on this one. I hope that clip explains everything to you and lets you see that the lures that I used in this spot, in this location, I had pike following the lures. So I know this place has pike in it. Same way I've been here with other people who's caught pike here, so I've seen it with my own eyes, I know it's pike here. Me personally, dead baiting lures, I've always blanked. But it's one of the places that I've always wanted to tick off the bucket list to say that I've actually got here. So to start off these episodes for fishing for pike throughout the winter this year, being the first location, I thought I'll get out of the way, come here. If I catch, I catch. If I don't, I don't. But it looks good so far. I've seen a few fish rising and stuff like that, so hopefully it's a good sign that it's going to be pike here. In the video I'll try and talk you through how I fish, my own personal preferences, how I fish for the pike when I'm using my homemade jig flies and lures even. I'm no expert, don't claim to be, I just love the hobby, and I'm just going to try to explain how I fish, and in return hopefully that helps at least one person, and most importantly I hope you enjoy the video. Oh, here you just seen, I just spooked a tiny wee jack. And I mean tiny. But a good thing, oh, the fish rise right there. The good thing is, if there's that one, there's a chance there might be more. It's trying to get a cast in, it's a problem. The trees are getting in the road. It's a school of roach here, so at least there's bait fish here. Oh, I just missed one! A wee jack, it's still there. It's still there. It's still sitting there. Oh, I spooked it. Oh, well actually a wee jack went for the same size as a lure. Just gotta keep trying. So there's lolly pads just here at the surface, and there's more over there, so there's a good chance that there's pike here because it's got a bit of shelter, and I've also seen a few roach and stuff like that near my feet, so it's a good chance there's pike here. I've gone through all this stuff, that's for sure. Things we do to catch a fish. I'm knackered after walking all around that. It's times like this I wish I had a surface lure, because in here right now this would be brilliant for surface lures, try to catch a pike on them. Oh, just a pity I've not got any with me. So as for my fishing rod, it's a 8.5 foot Savage gear, and it's called a bushwhacker, believe it or not. It's a 20 to 60 gram casting weight on it. Reel is a Shimano 4000, braid's £40, and it's a homemade titanium wire trace, which is roughly around about 45 centimetres in length. Very basic stuff, does the job, and it works good. And as you can see at the moment, I'm using my homemade jig fly in the red and white pattern. The reason I'm using that is because I've got plenty of pike down the canal, so I want to try and stick to a jig fly that I feel confident in. Once I start catching that, I might switch to some of my new jig flies that I've not actually shown in camera yet, that I have caught on, but not many. So we'll start off with this and see how I get on. Smallest pike ever, right in the edge of where my rod tip is. I'm going to move it slowly. Oh, I don't know if you'll see in the camera, but the fish is moving. Oh, smallest pike. Right, a couple of metres out. Probably about 2 inch if that. When you're wading it, the good thing is always make sure you know where you're stepping. So the good thing is I can actually see the bottom, see it's a hard surface. I don't know if you'll see it in the camera, but I can see it with the Polaroids. It just suddenly drops right down, goes along flat. It's a grassy bottom. You can see his lolly pads there, and you can also see movement on the surface. So these are all positive signs that there's going to be fish here. but it is a big body of water, so it's wee bits like this you've just got to try and fish, and hopefully the fish are there. Now unfortunately I can't get a proper cast in this spot because the tree's above my head, so I need to do like a side cast. So I'm not really getting the distance that I would like, and I don't want it to sink too far. But now and again when I'm bringing the jig fly in, I'm getting a big school of perch and roach fall on it, so if the jig flies bringing them in, hopefully it's not long before it starts bringing some pike in. Oh! Oh, I just missed that. You see that? I just missed that pike, I belted it. Oh! I can see it's going right along the edge. I cannot believe I just missed that here. The pike took it and then spat it out. And I hate when that happens. It came in, it took the jig fly, and I was that surprised I paused for a second instead of striking, and I've lost the pike. So the pike I just lost, I can see it, just the trees, it's just ever so slightly just touching the water. I can see it from here, it's just sitting there, it's a wee tiny jack. Probably the best part of, I'd say £2 at the most. But the angle I've got to try and get the lure in there, or the jig fly I should say, to get it in there to try and get the pike out, it's going to be hard without snagging. It might help if I take the bail arm off. So, too far away. See, this is the problem, I've got the adrenaline going now after that, and try to get a cast. Hopefully I don't... That's a bit better. Hopefully it sees it and comes out again. Oh, got it! Oh, I'm glad the plan comes together. Nice jack pike. So I'm glad that I seen it under the tree and it worked and I was able to catch it. I'm absolutely over the moon. After seeing what happened there, you just couldn't write it. I couldn't get a better, more experience, and I'm so glad that I'm back fishing for what I love. The pike is the first fish I caught, and I'm so glad that I'm back catching what I love. But no, I know it's only a wee jack, but you don't know how much this means to me. It means a lot, and I'm over the moon with it. But morning pike. I'll let this one rest and then get it back. So, just going to support the pike, let it breathe, let it get strength back. When that's ready, trust me, it'll go. Oh, oops, there it goes. Stunning jack pike. I'm so glad I caught that in camera. That's like one of the stories you tell your pals and they don't believe you. I just can't believe the way that happened there. So, oh, I just can't wait to see if I can catch another one. Parts like this where it's got lily pads, overhanging trees, it goes to a sudden drop off. Things like this is all nice features that normally have fish or potential of catching fish, like I did have with the jack pike. But the problem I've got here is too much cover, can't get a cast. So I definitely think when I've got the health I'm going to get the kayak out and come up here next year, so I can actually get more access to this water, because I definitely think it's got good potential now that I've seen the amount of bait fish and features, stuff that I've not seen in years coming up to this bit. I don't know if you'll see it on the camera, but right up here at the surface is a school of perch and roach. I'd probably want to say roughly about 2 inches. So small roach, small perch, ideal bait size for pike. So this spot here looks like one of the best spots today. Got the lily pads there, overhanging trees, there's tall weeds and grass right here at my feet. So I stand a good chance of pike being hiding in that. I know it's going to be a bit hard for you to see in the camera, but I can see with the polarized sunglasses, so I think I stand a reasonable chance of actually catching something here, but I don't want to jinx it. So I'm going to try and get my jig fly to land in front of the trees. Obviously I don't want to snag on the trees, so I'm going to keep it about roughly about a metre to 2 metres out. If there's any pike hiding under the trees and it's hungry enough and it sees it, it should go for it. Now, as for the actual jig fly itself, I've had people ask me, how does it work? So you don't need to actually do much with my jig flies, because the way I've made them is literally just in the movement of the reel, going down. So doing fast, slow, doing fast, slow, doing fast. It's just a case of keeping that movement, just keep that movement, so it goes, basically when you're reeling down you do it faster, and then slow as you come back up, and then just keep doing that. It's enough to actually make the jig fly work. You don't need to actually do anything else, and the reason for it being is because the way I've made my jig fly, it's actually in 3 compartments. So just simply doing that with the retrieve of the reel is enough to actually make it shine and make it do what it's doing. And as you've seen, I've caught plenty of pike on it. Now you can jig it like that and you'll get a bit of movement for it and stuff like that, and that works as well. But for an actual retrieve, you can do it all in the reel action of the retrieve. You don't need to do anything else other than that. So that's why I do it in 3 sections. So after going all through all the trees, let's just say it's not fat man friendly, as I call it. I'm absolutely knackered, but I've kept me a spot here and it looks pretty good. I'll just show you it now. So kept me a spot here, going through all the trees there. It was hard going. I've kept me a spot here and it actually looks pretty decent, but it's a few wee rises there, as you can see. It looks a decent spot. There's more reeds over here, lily pads. So I'm going to give this a wee bash, see if this is any productive like the last spot was. So I've waded out to this bit where, just, I don't even know how to describe it. It's like a wee island in the middle. But it's only literally about, I don't know, about 2 metres width that you could actually walk across, because it's deep down this side, deep down there, deep down that way, deep down behind us. There's literally just a wee path, this wee island bit I'm standing on. So I managed to wade out to a decent part in the loch, and means I can fish all around me and try and catch something, hopefully. Now there's lily pads, there's weeds there, there's features. So I'm hoping it's a hungry pike here as well. So I've started back pretty much where I started. I started off a session there on that point just there, and I walked my way the whole way around the loch. So I'm not gave up just yet, but it's been a hard day's fishing anyway. Don't get me wrong, I loved every minute, but it's still been hard going. So what a brilliant day's fishing. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I just still can't believe the day what happened, you know, with that pike. I was literally explaining I was seeing the roach and the perch coming in, and hopefully the pike might follow in. And as soon as I say that, what happens? The pike hammers the jig fly, and because I wasn't expecting it, because I was talking about it, I kind of froze for a second, and I forgot to set the hook, so the fish got off. And then as I seen it under the tree and talking about it, I think I might be able to catch a pike then. The luck that it was pure luck that I actually did catch it. So to actually catch that on film was, I think, probably the best part of today. It's one of the things, if you told somebody about it, they probably wouldn't believe you, so I'm glad I got it in film. The plan for the next stage is I'm going to come back 2 days time. Me and Aldo's going to come back. We're going to try and cross one of the rivers and fish a body of water that I've not fished before, but it's got good potential, and we're going to stick to the jig flies. But no, to be honest, I'm just glad I'm back doing what I love, and that's fishing for pike. And all I've got to say is, to end this video, thanks for watching, very much appreciate all your support, and I'm on a pike.